Reaction with us, Senior Advisor, President Obama, Valerie Jarrett. And I was pleased you invited me to this. You shocked a lot of people. People were fainting when I walked into
We were delighted to have you.
Look, the President mentioned in his remarks a culture of cynicism on the streets. And it's not just blacks, but it's the poor and the hardcore, what they call gangstas. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's a culture of cynicism, like, we can't make it, we're not going to be a part of this, we're going to sell drugs, we're going to do what we want. You've got to get in there. And I don't know if you guys see the urgency of that.
Well, of course the President does. And he said this afternoon, look, we all have a role that we can play here. This is not a big government program. In fact, the government's role is rather minor. And it requires accountability. It requires people to step up to the plate and work hard and stay in school and excel and dream, but it also requires a community around them to provide a safety net. The President talks about his own childhood, where there were times when he wasn't studying hard in school. And when
he was very candid with these kids.
Extremely candid, but he had a mother who believed in education, and he had grandparents and teachers.
He had some guidance.
He had a lot of guidance, and what he said is what he wants for all of our children is to have that safety net.
Look.
But he also told them, look, boys, you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to act responsibly.
And that message has to get across. But you have to attack the fundamental disease if you want to cure it. Now, I submit to you that you're going to have to get people like Jay-Z, Kanye West, all of these gangsta rappers to knock it off. That's number one.
What I think these boys need is they need positive role models, which you said.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You got to get where they live. All right, they idolize these guys with the hats on backwards and the terrible rap lyrics and a drug and all of that. You got to get these guys, and I think President Obama can do it. And you got to put them on TV and the net, and they got to say, knock it off. This is wrong. You've got to get them all, and then you got to get the President and the First Lady and every other profile. You had Magic Johnson there today. He's a good guy, and you got a bunch of these guys, and you got to barrage, and make it uncomfortable to have a baby out of wedlock. Make it uncomfortable to sell drugs. You got to reverse the peer pressure. You see where I'm coming from here?
I see exactly what you're coming from, and what we showed today is that there is evidence that there are wonderful programs out there that can inspire these young people. The President is a terrific role model. The room today was full of role models that these young boys can look up to, and what we have to do is take what's working and take it to scale.
All right, are you just blowing off my idea here?
No, I'm just telling you that I think that there's a lot of ways of approaching this.
You had Colin Powell in there. You had a lot of
role model.
Right. But they don't even know who he is. All right?
Actually, I think they do.
On the south side of Chicago.
Oh, of course they know.
May, but he's over here.
Of course they know who Colin Powell is. Of course they know who he is.
It's these gangster rappers. It's the athletes. It's the tattoo guys. You got to get them in there to tell these kids that you got to stop the destructive behavior. You're going to wind up in a morgue or in prison.
I think don't underestimate those children. That's what I would say to you.
Anybody.
I think when the President of the United States looks at you and he says, I believe in you and that I was just like you and you can be just like me, that's the perfect role model. That's the person they should have. The First Lady, an outstanding role model for the young people.
I want you to tell her something from me tonight. Okay. I like the nutrition thing. I like the garden. I think that's all good.
Healthy eating. Let's move.
I want Michelle Obama
exercise.
to come on this program. Right here. And I want Michelle Obama to look into that camera and say, you teenage girls, you stop having sex. You stop getting pregnant. This is wrong. I want her to do that right here. Do you think she would?
Well, I think what's more important than Michelle Obama coming on Fox News is for her to spend time with young girls, which she does. She's had a mentorship program for young girls since she first took office. Both the President and the First Lady talk about the importance of marriage, the importance of responsibility, and she does it all the time. She is with young girls all the time.
Look,
you think coming on Fox is the more intense way? I think her spending time in a classroom, one-on-one, talking to the children is really important.
Are you kidding me?
And she does that.
Do you know how many people saw that Super Bowl interview? Do you know how many people saw that? Well, if Michelle Obama comes on this program, looks into that camera, and tells teenage girls, not just black teenage girls, but all teenage girls, don't do these things because they are destructive.
Well, I think it's a great pitch. It's a great pitch to have her come on Fox.
Look,
I think it's better if she's actually sitting down in the classroom with the girls, inviting them to the White House, sharing her life experience with them. Well, I believe that anything she does gets covered by the press.
Can I give you a compliment?
I wish you would.
I believe that this My Brother's Keeper program is going to work. Okay? I think it's going to work. But it'll work a lot faster, and you'll save a lot more lives if you incorporate what I'm telling you tonight. If you get down to them in a way that's so personal. Yes, do all the other things, and all the other things are good, but you're not getting gritty enough. All right. You go reply, and then I got 2 more questions about others. How much time we have? We have a bunch of time with Ms. Jarrett here? I'm sure she wants to get out of here.
No, I'm enjoying the conversation. I think there are lots of ways of approaching the problem, and I think that the recognition that this is a problem for all of us, that if a segment of our population is lagging behind, that we have to change that paradigm. And it requires a lot of effort, and it's not just either or, it's a bunch of different strategies we have to take.
All right.
And you know what? Maybe if we can find musicians who they respect, who'll come and talk to them. And,
look, either tell them they do it or you'll audit them. Okay? That's
now,
it.
If we did
you
that,
either do it.
oh my goodness,
oh, no,
you'd
I'll
have a field day with that. I don't think we'll be auditing
No, but
them.
no, everybody would like that. Tell them to do it. They'll do it.
Well,
these pinheads will do it if you tell them to.
You know what, Bill, what I really like is the fact that you are passionate about this.
Oh, it's terrible. I'm a former teacher. I know the kids that you said are up there today.
Amazing.
I had them in my class.
Exactly.
All right, I had them in my class 40 years ago, and the situation's just gotten worse.
Well, it has, and that's why we have to change the trajectory.
All right.
And that's what today was really all about. And I think there is reason to be hopeful because we can see the change that's happening. Those boys today, many of them were at risk last year, and now look at them. They're standing tall and doing well in school.
I'm going to take 3 minutes more with Ms. Jarrett. Okay, so we'll take that off the Henry. We don't need Henry. We'll use him, but we'll cut his time. All right, look, you have the poll at CBS, and it's bad. It's a bad poll for you guys. Is it just all about Obamacare? You think driving down the president's numbers?
Look, we've been through a challenging time. I think that as a result of what the president did at the State of the Union, he changed the paradigm. We're going to have a year of action. He's going to be doing a lot of things that don't necessarily involve Congress. I think people around the country...
Worry you, these terrible numbers worry you?
The president has never focused on the daily polling numbers. If he did that, he wouldn't have run for president. Right. What he's focusing on is the American people and what he can do, what action he can take to create jobs, create growth, create opportunity, and that's what this year is going to be all about.
This poll is bad for him. Secondly, I'm worried you're cutting the army down to pre-World War II levels. I mean, you got China, you got Iran, you got the Taliban in Afghanistan.
We have the strongest military in the world.
Yeah, well, you're not making it stronger, though. You're not making it stronger.
By far, we have the strongest military in the world.
Well, why cut it? Why cut it?
Well, I would think that, not that long ago, you were telling us how we needed to get our fiscal house in order and tighten our belts.
Absolutely.
And that requires a lot of sacrifices. But we're not sacrificing the safety or the security of our country. I can promise you that.
I'm worried about that.
There's nothing that the president takes more seriously than his responsibility as commander-in-chief.
I'm worried. I got to tell you, as an American, not as a bloviator, I'm worried about that cut. I don't think you're going to get it through Congress anyway. Final thing is, I wish the president, I told him this and I'm so presumptuous, I'm glad the Secret Service didn't arrest me. I told him, look, why don't you consider the voucher thing, the school voucher thing? Just consider it. Maybe you don't have to do it the way it is now, but private schools have discipline. And the kids we saw today, I mean, they could prosper in private Catholic schools. And if you give them the vouchers, let the poor parents make the decision. I just wish you would just consider it. Just do a pilot
you act as though
program.
We haven't considered it. We certainly have, and the evidence shows that there are lots of other ways.
But I got evidence that says the opposite.
Well, you know what? I think charter schools are a nice way to do experimenting and see what works, and then when you can take it to scale. But the point is, you can't give up on the public school system. And I think what Arnie Duncan has done is demonstrated that we really need to put all of our effort to make sure all of our children, not just some of our children, all of our children succeed in public school.
Cheryl, we appreciate you coming in tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Is it really?
It is. Don't I look like I'm having fun?
There you go.
I am.